Hello, hello, my dear friends. I'm Father Diego, and this is the message of the Gospel for today, April the 2nd. April's Fool. We listen from the Gospel of John, chapter 8, verses 51 to 59, the very last verses of this chapter. Jesus says to the Jews, "Amen, amen, I say to you, whoever keeps my word will never see death." So the Jews said to him, "Now we are sure that you are possessed. Abraham died, as did the prophets. Yet you say, whoever keeps my word will never taste death. Are you greater than our father Abraham, who died? Or the prophets who died? Who do you make yourself out to be?" Jesus answered, "If I glorify myself, my glory is worth nothing. But it is my Father who glorifies me, of whom you say he is our God. You do not know him, but I know him. And if I should say that I do not know him, I will be like you, a liar. But I do know him, and I keep his word. Abraham your father rejoiced to see my day. He saw it and was glad." So the Jews said to him, "You are not yet 50 years old, and you have seen Abraham?" Jesus said to them, "Amen, amen, I say to you, before Abraham came to be, I am." So they picked up stones to throw at him, but Jesus hid and went off of the temple area. All right, the very last verses of this chapter 8, with a kind of virulent reaction, a very nasty reaction from the Jews against Jesus as they picked up stones to throw at him. It's clear that Jesus is talking in a completely different language that the Jews are unable to understand. They were kind of lost in translation. He's talking about his testimony about God and how Jesus really knows the Father because they are one, they are together. Jesus' testimony about God is true because he knows God. He knows the Father differently from the Pharisees and the scribes, that they think they know God, but they don't. Well, that's the main reason of the discussion here. And towards the end of this passage, Jesus uses once more this expression as a way to self-reveal or self-revelation of his identity as the Son of God. I am, ego eimi. Remember that I think I pointed out this yesterday or on Monday, I guess. Anyway, so let me point out this expression that I think is kind of a link between yesterday's gospel and this gospel today. Jesus said, "Whoever keeps my word will never see death," is pretty similar to the expression that Jesus used yesterday. If you remain in my word, and you will truly be my disciples, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Whoever keeps my word will never see death. Death, truth, freedom as experiences, not only concepts, but something tangible, if you want, in people's life. I don't know if you remember this movie from 1998, I guess, or even older, Meet Joe Black, with Anthony Hopkins and Brad Pitt. Anthony Hopkins is this multimillionaire, Bill Parrish, I guess was his name, and he's near to die, and he met this handsome young guy who represents death, Brad Pitt, Joe Black, and they kind of make a deal. Death is going to give Bill Parrish a couple of extra life, a little bit longer of time on this earth, and death, Joe Black, is going to experience how is be human-like. But at the end, Joe Black falls in love with Bill Parrish. Anyway, the point is how many times have you seen or experienced death in your life? Why my question and why this movie? Because the verb that this gospel uses at the beginning, whoever keeps my word will never see death, I think is exchangeable. That verb to see for to experience or to know death. So how many times have you experienced death in your life? And as I used to say in funerals, death has many faces. Death has the face of disappointments, failures, frustrations, fears, and so on and so on. So we experience death in many ways, because in the Gospel of John, death is not, again, only a concept or something physical like leaving this body or stop breathing, but death is a force, a power that brings to an end everything that is meaningful or beautiful in our lives. So I think we have experienced death in many ways, many different times in our lives. So Jesus' sentence goes exactly to that particular experience of death in our lives. And he says, whoever keeps my word will never see death. And I think what the Jesus intends, or the intention of the message of this gospel, is to say, if you if you remain in the core, the essence of the message of salvation, the good news of salvation, the message of love and forgiveness and self-offering to others in service and love, you will not experience this power that destroys everything around you. You will never see death. You will never experience or know this power that destroys everything. I think the invitation of Jesus to his disciples and to the Jews is to discover, by remaining or by sticking Jesus' words, is the power of life that pierced everything in our lives, creating something different, as I said yesterday. So to keep Jesus' words, again, I think is just the experience to remain in him, to abide with Jesus and his message and his lessons of love, compassion, forgiveness, self-offering, and so on and so on. I think that's a good approach that we can do to this gospel, to today's gospel. Let's gonna have a cup of coffee and think about the power of life, not the power of death. We are kind of tired of listening about the power of death nowadays, right? We need to stick with Jesus, to stay with him, to experience the power of life. Very long video today. I'm so sorry. I'll see you tomorrow with the message of the gospel. Cheers. Bye now.